The SEC is as crazy as it's ever been. This is the Random SEC channel. I am Andrew. This is Garrett.
Hi.
And we, today, are going to be breaking down our Week 10 SEC Power Rankings. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on all socials, Instagram especially, at randomsec.ig. Without further ado, though, let's get into this. Let's start off, number 16, Kentucky, and that's the same for both of us here. Any thoughts on that?
They haven't shown much ability to win, and so I'm not very high on them. I think bottom of the SEC is where they belong, and that's where they are.
Yeah, rough stretch for Kentucky. 4 straight losses to all their SEC teams. Well, 5 straight losses to SEC teams, 4 straight losses, though. South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, and Tennessee most recently. Not looking good. They do have a chance this weekend, though. They're playing at Auburn. Yeah, it's been a rough go of it for Kentucky. Interesting to see the situation on Mark Stoops. Will he be the coach? Continue to be the coach at Kentucky. But you got an interesting matchup this weekend. You know, you can kind of silence the haters if you so please and boost up. But I don't think there's really any denying that they're the bottom of the barrel of the SEC as it is right now.
What's funny is I would call these bottom 4, 13, 14, 15, and 16, the teams that get to play Texas and play them close,
Yeah,
but just let Texas pass by.
So, yeah, we have 3. That is very true. Texas has just been... They keep winning, though.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, ESPN put out a thing today and said Texas has a 41% chance to make the playoffs. I was like, what? Who made these percentages?
You know, I've been sleeping under a rock for a while. I thought Texas was supposed to be a number 1 team.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened, guys?
Yeah, there's 3 teams in the SEC without a conference win. That is Kentucky, Arkansas, and Mississippi State. But Arkansas and Mississippi State have been on another level than Kentucky, I think is fair to say.
Yeah, with all that, I think it points to Kentucky as 16.
Okay. Moving on from that, not too much to say about that. On to number 15. You have Arkansas, and I have South Carolina.
Dude, the 3 without conference wins belong on the bottom. I know you like your Hogs, and I've known that these Hog games have been close. But, come on, man. At the end of the day, it's a yes or no, win or lose. We don't have ties like the NFL, which is great. And so, I don't know what to tell you, Andrew.
Okay. Once again, everybody, power rankings for us is this week who we think are the best teams the way they're playing right now.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clarify that because everyone has their different, power ranking methods. That's just how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're saying that Arkansas, they haven't really proven anything because they haven't won a game. That's totally fair. I disagree. I think South Carolina, even though they have won a conference game against Kentucky, the way they've been looking just doesn't bode too well with me.
Mm-hmm.
A pretty good game here against Alabama, but just the culmination of errors at the end of the game and to not come out with a win there at home, followed up by these past few weeks, just cements them at 15 for me. And maybe that's a little biased, but I firmly believe the only SEC team they can beat right now is Kentucky. And they did beat Kentucky.
Well, that close game with Alabama.
Yeah.
And even with that, you're putting them at 15.
Yeah. Okay,
Wow.
that and I can see how that could have a little backlash. I'm going to be honest with you. But just, man, that Oklahoma game really did me in because I really don't think Oklahoma's that great, and they just got absolutely rocked at home.
Yeah.
That's what's really getting to me, and that was the same South Carolina team. But, hopefully they'll prove me wrong this weekend. They got Ole Miss at Ole Miss. It's going to be a tough game, but maybe they can prove me wrong. Maybe put up a good fight there again.
What I like about you putting South Carolina there is if it were from the eye test of them playing, Yeah, I would put Arkansas above them. Their offense is much more impressive. They're able to go down and score. They're actually able to move the game. But at the end of the day, it's yes or no, win or loss, 1 or 0. You know, black or white. It's did they win? And South Carolina has a win. South Carolina beat the bottom here, Kentucky,
Yeah, that's very fair. Very, very fair.
and Arkansas does not have that win. So
Yeah.
that's why I put Arkansas 15th.
Okay. That, I mean, you could definitely, and you could say, like, you could prove that, like, South Carolina knows how to win a conference game, even though Arkansas doesn't play Kentucky, maybe. That's totally fair.
So you're saying that
That's
it
no,
matched up.
That's totally fair reasoning, though. I agree with that. That's all I have to say about that one.
Yeah.
So moving on to number 14. This is gonna shock some people with mine, so let's start with you.
Wonderful. Mississippi State. Those cowbells ring hard, but not ring hard enough. I say about a 14.
Yeah, that's totally fair. It was a rough week for Mississippi State. You know, that really felt like their chance to break through. They had Texas on the ropes. They had them up. They were up by 17 at one point.
What a choke job. And
And
that's why they belong here.
Generational choke job. And that's what bad teams do. They find ways to lose instead of finding ways to win. That's what Arkansas does. That's what Mississippi State does. That's what Auburn does.
Yeah, these teams right here, I would say play the game to not lose, not
Yes.
play the game to win.
And the thing is, they're not like, I don't want to call them awful because they consistently are playing well against great opponents, but they find ways to lose. And that's just what differs from a solid team to a bad team.
Yes.
But my number 14 team, and this may shock people, is LSU.
Wow.
At the time of recording, Brian Kelly was not fired, but now he has officially been fired. I had to add this in. Let's get back to the rankings.
Once again, I'm going to say it again, power rankings are how they're playing right now. I think LSU has lost the locker room. Brian Kelly has. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired. I don't... Talent-wise, LSU should be way above where I have them. But the way they played this weekend and the way they will continue to play, if keeping Brian Kelly, is bottom 3 in the conference, in my opinion.
Yeah, after the game in the press conference, he went on to say that they played 5 freshmen. Dude, why are you blaming your players?
He's consistently blaming his players. He consistently blames his coaches.
Take accountability, man.
I mean, I think what we saw Saturday was it's just sad. It's hard to watch. I mean, you're going on your social media and you're seeing left and right, him, the camera panning to him and he's chewing out one of his coaches, saying it's all his fault. They're going to lose their job. The culture at LSU seems dead. It really seems dead. Now, I don't know if Brian Kelly survives this week, but either or, the era where LSU and Brian Kelly coexist to do something great is over. Whenever they get rid of him, it's over. In my opinion, LSU, they should be better than a lot of these teams, like I said, but the way they played this week and the way I think they will continue to play unless something changes is the number 14 team in the SEC right now.
I think that Brian Kelly doesn't fully encapsulate the culture of LSU. That hard-nosed win in the trenches. Nick Saban said it himself. He said, draw a 10-mile radius in Louisiana, and they could win a national championship.
Yeah.
He might have said 50. That seems more likely. But the point is, they have the talent. They have the people there. They have the people willing to go down to the trenches and fight for LSU.
Yes.
And in the conference, there wasn't too much I. It was a we thing. Like we have a proud tradition. And they do. But Brian Kelly is not embodying it right now.
He's a I, me type of guy. And I think that's evident. I think from the very beginning, I think we all kind of understood that he wasn't the greatest fit for LSU, like culturally. We all thought he was going to do good because he's been a proven coach throughout his career. But at least for me, by no means that I think Brian Kelly was a cultural fit for LSU. I mean, you went from Coach O, who's probably the best cultural fit for LSU,
Go Tigers.
to Brian Kelly, and he's this Midwestern guy, pretty fraudulent. He's proven throughout his career, personally, as a person, but you kind of brush that off as an LSU fan because you're like, this guy has proven throughout his career he can coach.
The winningest coach in Notre Dame.
Yeah. And at the time, it was unprecedented that a coach leaves Notre Dame. It never happens. And so, everyone thought he's going to LSU. He's got all the resources he can imagine. It doesn't matter that the culture doesn't fit, but that's just, it shows you that that's wrong. And football's about culture, and he's done the farthest thing from building a culture.
The last thing he said in the clip I watched was, "See you at the national championship."
Yeah,
what on earth?
I think that was I think that was last year, maybe. I don't know, but
what is that?
that's still ridiculous.
I mean, it still fits him because it's who he is.
It's who he is.
Yeah.
He cannot cease to make excuses for his shortcomings, and it's coming back to bite him. It's just coming back to bite him. And I just want to say, Death Valley should never, ever be that empty.
Yes.
In the third quarter, and A&M fans have taken it over. That's a sign for me.
Pummeled them. Final score was 49-25, but completely went off the wheels on the third quarter. I want to say in the third quarter, Texas A&M scored 21? Yeah, 21 points, and just kept on going at it.
Yeah. And once again, this game we were watching it live and looking at it at halftime. I think A&M had a 4-point lead, but all the things that had gone wrong for A&M, and they still had a 4-point lead, were like, A&M's got this game.
Yeah.
It was apparent, and this is a game that should be a rivalry, should be close, and it's a night game in Death Valley.
When they were 20-1 prior to this.
Teams aren't supposed to win there like that.
Yeah.
Unprecedented, and that's the type of performance that gets you fired. I'm just gonna say that, and will it not? We don't know.
Kelly gotta go.
Yeah, they panned to that sign in the stands
so many times, man.
Um,
And the guy was sitting in the Aggie section, so I pegged him for being an Aggie. And then the next time they showed him, he was
an LSU.
cloaked in LSU
See, I was
gear.
like, I was telling you, there's no way an Aggie fan said that. LSU fans are just as mad. Aggie fans would probably want him to keep Brian Kelly.
Yeah. We just did the pummeling. All right, moving on to number 12, right? 13, I'm sorry.
Okay, you have South Carolina there?
I do have South Carolina there.
Elaborate.
South Carolina, they've shown more. I don't think they're bottom of the barrel because, they beat Virginia Tech. They beat Kentucky, but that's as high as I can put them. They only have a Kentucky win. They've had a hard schedule. And they have Clemson at the end. Clemson doesn't look particularly hard, but I think South Carolina should be proud of what they've done this season so far.
Proud.
I just can't put them too high on the SEC list with losses to Alabama, Oklahoma, LSU, Missouri. Yeah.
I don't think they should be proud of it, but it's not as bad as some other teams.
Dude, they pummeled Kentucky, man.
Kentucky did. But just, yeah, I see what you're saying here. You're going more of the standings route, which is totally fine. You're looking at their resume, and I am too. But South Carolina definitely looked great this weekend. Mm-hmm. Let's not sugarcoat that. A great Alabama team walked in and they showed up and they fought.
Bottom to the wire.
Yeah, this South Carolina team is not what their record depicts by any means, but once again, their record is their record. They find ways to lose these games. That's why I ultimately went Arkansas here. And Arkansas is kind of the same thing. I just think, they're a little more, they're a little better on offense, maybe.
More offensive firepower.
Honestly, these two teams are very similar, in my opinion. Ooh. I mean, not similar in the way they play, but I'm just saying similar in the level of play.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I put Arkansas here because disappointing season, but those A&M and Tennessee game has some weight for me. Personally, I just think the way A&M's played, I think you cannot just overlook how Arkansas took them to the wire. But it's power ranking,
Yeah.
Opinionated.
All right. Move on to number 12.
Okay.
I have Auburn.
And I have Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Tell me about that one.
Even though Oklahoma beat Auburn in front of them, just I cannot tell you how disappointing OU has been for me. You know, this is the team. We were talking about playoffs. We were talking about mid-tier for Heisman, and then against Texas and against Ole Miss, we just saw absolute piss poor performance. The PPP. Ole Miss wasn't as bad. Ole Miss, you started off, the first half was pretty bad, and I'm like, okay, this is over. You find way to battle back. You take the lead in the third quarter. You have all the momentum. You're at home for Pete's sake, and you just get pummeled by a team that has a coaching carousel in the locker room type thing. Their defense isn't good. They're coming off a loss. You're playing at home once again, and you just get pummeled in the fourth quarter. You don't even put up a freaking fight. That is embarrassing. That's a number 12 in the SEC performance. And right now, the way OU's playing, I just don't see them beating a lot of SEC teams. I think you put them back on the field with Auburn. You put them at Auburn especially. I think OU comes out with a loss there. I'm sorry, OU fans. Just embarrassing. And Mateer, maybe he's hurt, but just not as good, dude.
Yeah. You got to have backup quarterbacks. They don't have an easy schedule in front of them either.
No.
And it's gonna be rough for them. Man, OU. My heart goes out for them, but I don't see them winning another SEC game.
This is what we said at the beginning of the year. This OU team could be better, but is it better enough to handle the schedule? And you can complain about the schedule all you want. Florida, Arkansas, they also have this type of schedule. And it's those three teams. You can complain about your schedule all you want, but at the end of the day, you're in the SEC. You got to expect these things, and you got to spot the ball. I know that's a little cliche. Billy Napier said it, and look where he is now. But you got to spot the ball, and you got to go up and play. You beat Michigan. That's looking deceiving now. I don't know how good Michigan actually was. You beat Auburn, also looking deceiving now. And then you get your chance against a bad Texas team, and you get pummeled. And then you get another chance against this Ole Miss team, who's pretty good.
Hung in there for a while.
And then you end up getting pummeled in the fourth quarter. And you're talking about they may not have another SEC win here. Yeah, you may be right, but maybe that LSU game. Their upcoming schedule is at Tennessee, at Alabama versus Missouri, and versus LSU. Missouri probably won't have their quarterback for that game. So
yeah, Missouri's a different team now.
Those last two games, they definitely have a chance.
Yeah.
So who do you have at?
I already said it, but Auburn. Auburn is who I had. Auburn beat the Hogs.
Finally pulled out a win there.
Yes.
Good for Hugh Freeze and co.
This win right here, in my opinion, shocked them up.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They come out of the barrel. They're now seeing the edge of the outing, and they have an easier schedule in Kentucky and Vanderbilt and Alabama. So
and I wouldn't say it's easier, but it's not as consistently hard. Like they had this 4-game, more like 5-game stretch of just insanely tough opponents. But now they have Kentucky.
They had the gauntlet going in.
They have Kentucky, which you should win. Then you play Vanderbilt. That's a tough game. You're probably going to lose. You play Mercer, so you get a little break in between, and then you play your rival Alabama. And you never know what's going to happen in the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, the Iron Bowl is always fun.
So this is a game for Auburn you had to win. And this is a game for Auburn that you may be able to right your wrongs a little bit this season. Keep Hugh Freeze another year. I fully expected Auburn to come in this game and fold after these 4 weeks have been, and it was kind of the opposite. They got tested.
They impressed me.
They put Ashton Daniels in there, and yeah, they kind of pummeled Arkansas in the second half. Arkansas was kind of the one who folded.
Yeah.
Just simply turned it over a lot, and yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But
That was rough. That was a rough fourth
you have
quarter
Auburn
with 3
at
turnovers.
You have Auburn at
12.
12, and yeah, I have them a little higher here. So are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 11.
I have Florida.
Okay, I have Mississippi State.
Interesting.
So here's my thought process.
How did you put him up so high?
Here's my thought process here. Y'all better listen. This week especially separated the SEC a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bad teams, I'm realizing now. Bad teams that could put up fights against good teams, but bad teams just in general. Because even my number 8 team, which I'll get to later, is a bad team. So what I'm trying to say is the SEC is deep, but maybe not quite as deep as I once thought. And that's kind of the reasoning for having Mississippi State here. I think they played a good game against Texas. I think they beat Arkansas this weekend. I think they beat LSU if they played right now. I think they beat South Carolina if they played right now. And I think they beat Kentucky if they played right now. Mississippi State's 0-4 in the SEC. So you may be a little confused. But I'm telling you, if Mississippi State can get up and play, hold on to the ball, and play consistent football, they could beat a lot of teams in the SEC, and that's where I'm at right now.
So you're just saying if they learned how to wrap up and take down a punt returner, and they could just they're mid-tier SEC.
Okay, that Texas game was rough, and yes, that's what I'm saying they are a couple steps away from being there, but 11 I don't think is too crazy to say for them.
You know, I think that's too crazy.
You think it is too crazy?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are 0-4, but I'm telling you, I could see them, like, right now, the way they played this weekend, I think that beats a lot of teams the way they played this weekend.
Somewhere right now, you just gave a Mississippi State fan a cowbell by putting them this high.
11 is not crazy. 11 is not crazy. Come on now.
Oh man, oh that's lovely. All right, we're on 11. Moving on to 10. I have LSU.
Okay, and I have Auburn here. So we've already elaborated on these two teams a little bit, but you have LSU. You still have a little hope for BK and co.
Yeah, it's still Brian Kelly. I still think they have weapons behind them. As said earlier. In Louisiana, 50-mile radius, you could probably win a national championship. You just got to get the right coach in there, get the right mindset into these players, and man, do you have a run.
They don't have the right coach or the right
or
the right mindset.
For that reason, I think they're 10th. I think that even before this Texas A&M game, they were 20-1 in their home field. Yeah, that's impressive.
With Brian Kelly, we're saying.
Yes. That's impressive. They're a proud school. They're a proud team, and they're phenomenal. But from what they've shown this year, I don't know if they can handle their schedule correctly. I think 10th is exactly where they belong. You'll find out from my next ranking what I think of their final game of the year, OU and LSU. Mm-hmm. You guys might have already guessed since I put LSU here. I think they're one above them, and I going down the list, I think Oklahoma will beat LSU.
Okay. It is at Oklahoma.
Yes. Elaborate on your number 10.
So I have Auburn.
What?
I'm just gonna.
Did we do? Yeah.
Auburn.
Okay. Why? How? Why?
Power rankings, guys. Once again, the way they played this week, the way they're playing right now.
Okay.
You know what I think this is for you?
Yes. Tell me.
I think you're putting LSU here because you want your Aggies to have a little bit better of a win.
Hey, man. Hey, whoa. They're 20-1. They're a proud school.
These are things in the past. This is a power ranking. None of that matters. The way they're playing right now is awful, is what I'm trying to say. They are playing awful. I don't care what Brian Kelly's night record is. I don't care what they did against Clemson. I don't care what they did against Freaking South Carolina, this team is cheeks. This team is cheeks. The way they played right this weekend was cheeks. And I think LSU fans would agree with me. I think anybody would agree with me. They're awful. 10 is a valid ranking, sure. But I'm telling you, LSU, in my opinion, is a bottom 3 team in the SEC. If that's crazy to say, that's crazy to say. But they're just so bad.
I think they're a bottom team, but mid-bottom of the SEC.
Okay, that's valid. But
because they have a win over South Carolina as opposed to Kentucky.
Okay. Auburn.
Wait. They have one more. Florida. They have Florida, dude. In which I put them above in my ranking, so, okay. I'm just saying. Mine makes a lot of sense.
They have a win against Florida, and you're using that to prove a point?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have Auburn here. Once again, I just this last week has really separated teams because I really don't think Auburn's a good team, and I like it's hard to even put them at number 10. But I kind of found myself like there's nowhere else to put them, so they're at number 10 for me. I just think right now they beat Mississippi State, they beat OU, they beat Arkansas, they beat LSU, they beat South Carolina, and they beat Kentucky. Those are the teams below them for me. I think they would beat all those teams. Now they could very easily not, but that's just my 2 cents. I think Auburn right now is playing better, and especially with that, kind of lit a spark with putting Ashton Daniels in. And I think they win this weekend against Kentucky. So,
Okay.
Moving on.
So I have OU as number 9.
And I have Texas, 2 rivals here.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Elaborate on OU. I had them pretty low. But
and it went into my idea that I thought OU is going to beat LSU at their final game of the year. And so I put OU here. Although they lost most recently to Ole Miss, what they've accomplished throughout the rest of the season, I believe, is admirable. And that's why I have them here.
Yeah, and honestly, you're probably more right about this. I'm just like really over the OU hype. I'm over Brent Venables. I just don't think this team's very good. But that your ranking's probably a little more valid, to be honest. They've been all right.
I like your ranking, man. Yours is fun to talk over, and you have very valid reasons.
Yes, but and OU, like, they could be number 9, but even number 9, it just doesn't seem like they even have like a chance at anything. They'll probably make a bowl, but that's about it. So like, I have number 9 as Texas. I don't think Texas is great, but they could sneak into the playoffs, I guess, if they wanted to.
Well, I don't know, man. You still have Vanderbilt to contend with.
They have a rough schedule here coming up, and you're probably not going to make it in with 3 losses. So it's very slim chances that they do make the playoffs, but they could sneak in there.
I also think they're losing to Arkansas.
Yeah, I can see that as well. You think they go 0-4 in this stretch? Or maybe they pull off an upset?
I think they pull it off against Georgia.
I think they pull it off against A&M, to be honest with you.
I also see that as a possibility. And they've shown in rivalry situations like OU, they really bring their guns out.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, Sark's a good coach.
Yes.
I just think this year they kind of whiffed on some talent, especially at the O-line position, and that's why I have them at 9, kind of. Like, I just... This week was impressive for me. I thought they were going to fold, but that offense lit up in the 3rd and 4th quarter. And hopefully Arch Manning is okay. Wish him the best. But yeah, if this Texas offense continues to play like this, if they continue to play like this, they're a better team than even the ones I have below them. They're not a great team. They're maybe not even a good team, but they're a decent team. An impressive win this weekend. That's really my basis for putting them at 9.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll spoil my number 8. I have Texas at number 8.
Yeah.
And so many of your points I agree with. I think they'll beat every team below them. But there's a lot of teams above them that they're going to face.
Yeah, it's
Vanderbilt, Georgia, Texas A&M.
going to be a rough schedule for them. And, it's interesting. You said they would beat all the teams below them. They actually lost to Florida. I have Florida above Texas. I think that still holds some weight. Maybe not. Maybe Texas is better right now. But I think that win still has some weight. I have Florida at 8, which is insane to say with a fired coach, with a bad resume.
Well, Texas starts conversations. So for number 8, you have Florida. For number 8, I have Texas. And yeah, that's a very valid point. Florida did beat Texas, and
you could say they're a different team, though. I mean, Billy's been fired.
With the ups and downs with football.
It was at Florida, and it's a power ranking. We're basing them on the team now. I just think Florida's pretty talented. I think they're a decent team, which is insane to say that they're the eighth best team in the SEC for me, even though their freaking coach is fired and they're kind of mid, honestly bad. So
they're gonna drop like a rock with the rest of their season.
But I just didn't know, and it's kind of the thing with these bottom tier SEC teams right now. They're all kind of like mushed together. I didn't know where to put Florida, so I kind of had to drop them over Texas because they beat Texas, and that was kind of my reasoning. So don't take that too heavily. But yeah, it's a rough stretch here to end in the season. But don't be surprised this weekend if they beat Georgia. Don't be surprised at all. It's at Florida. We've seen the interims go crazy this year, especially in the first game that they play. Mm-hmm. If I were to have a upset of the week, I think this would be the one. Florida, Georgia. Do not be surprised. Well, I actually think it's at a neutral site, but still, do not be surprised at all if Florida pulls off the upset here. The something favorite, world's most famous cocktail party, I think that's what it's called.
Honestly, these are pretty solid teams. Pretty blue-blooded teams.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's by no means good. They're 3-4, 2-2 in the SEC, but they've had a rough schedule. I just think I just had to put them over Texas. That was my reasoning for putting them at 8.
No, I'm thinking Georgia all the way. I think they just had a bye week.
They both had a bye week though.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, I mean,
Georgia's bye week does more.
Georgia's going to be favored. Georgia should win, but I'm just saying, don't be surprised if Florida wins.
Interesting.
Don't be surprised. I said it now.
Very interesting.
So when that happens, go ahead and give me my praise. Thank you very much.
All right. Moving on to number 7. I have Missouri.
I have Tennessee.
Interesting. Well,
Missouri did lose this weekend. Tennessee did win this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I think Missouri's probably still better. Although, now that I just remember it, Bo Pribula is out. So, I may flip that as well. I may put Tennessee above Missouri.
I'm glad you see the light.
Yeah, I was, when I made this ranking, I was like, Missouri with Bo Pribula, I think they're beating Tennessee. Missouri without Bo Pribula, I don't think they're beating Tennessee. Let me go ahead and change that. Let me put Tennessee at 6, Missouri at 7.
That's beautiful. I'm very
6-7.
glad. Oh, man. Clark Lea just shoehorning that in his interviews. Oh, that was so good.
I don't think that was on purpose, man.
A 6'7" gunslinger? Maybe
Yeah.
60 or 70 times.
Kirk Herbstreit, you had to
What a clown, dude. What a great guy.
Okay.
But yeah, and with that, I will say for my number 6, I have Tennessee, and yeah, Tennessee, I think still has a lot of life in them, despite losing to their main rivals, Alabama and Georgia. I still think they are amongst the top tier of the SEC.
Yeah, their offense is extremely legit. Their defense played a little better this weekend, although they allowed 34 points to Kentucky. That's not great, but they forced some turnovers. I'm really intrigued by this remaining schedule for Tennessee. It's decently favorable. They should beat Oklahoma. They should beat New Mexico State. They should beat Florida. But that Vanderbilt game at the end of the year, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Playoff implications are going to be through the roof. That game is going to be a load of fun. It's in Neyland. This rivalry is getting heated up, man. It used to be kind of a rivalry.
College
I
game
guess.
day goes again, yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just
both
telling
went
you, man. This game could be a play-in spot to the SEC championship. Maybe it could be a play-in spot for the playoffs. This is an interesting game. this is an interesting team in Tennessee, and I really like them. I like the way they're playing.
Yeah. All right.
So we kind of went over 6 and 7 there, with Missouri and
6,
Tennessee.
7, yes.
Um,
Who do you have for number 5?
I got Ole Miss.
I have Ole Miss. Finally, man. Besides Kentucky, we both agree on this one. They're the 5th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that. Their offense has been great, and they've surprised me with this road stint. They've shown that they are a legit team. Ole Miss they're impressive, and they have a very favorable schedule coming up. South Carolina, Citadel, Florida, at Mississippi State. I really feel like the only game out of there I'm worried about is Mississippi State, possibly Florida. I'm not worried about South Carolina at all. Yeah, this is an Ole Miss team that has a very good chance to make the playoffs, and maybe even the SEC championship.
Exactly. They're both in our top 5, so I think
They're both number 5.
Yes. And so I think any of these teams have the chance to make it to the SEC championship.
Yeah.
And
You bring up a good point. The top 5 all have a chance to make it to the SEC championship. All have a chance to make it to the playoffs. And I'd say the top 2 have a chance to win the national championship.
I would say the top 5 have a chance to win the championship.
I guess.
Any one of these,
Maybe.
I'll put my chips on them.
Yeah, chance.
Unless it's Ohio State. That guy scares me.
Yeah, I guess.
And
Indiana scares me more than Ohio State, to be honest with you.
I would say yes, very much that. I would say where Oregon is where our Georgia is in the SEC.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would very much agree. They're both similar programs. They're having similar seasons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah. So now these top 5, they'll actually do a top 5 on SEC, and you hung up with us this long. We gave the rankings for all of them. It shows that we care about the SEC. We love the SEC, and we love watching these games. So with that said, we're going to move on to number 4. Number 4, I have the Commodores. Vanderbilt.
Too low.
Too low.
I have Georgia at 4. Vanderbilt's number 3. Vanderbilt's the real deal. And if you don't believe that now, I don't think you're ever going to believe it. Georgia is a great team. Don't get me wrong. I think Vanderbilt beats them. I think Vanderbilt
beats Georgia.
gets too much hate for how good they've been. I'm going to straight up say it. I'm a Vanderbilt stan. But talk about my number 4 pick is Georgia, and Georgia's been good this season. They're not to Georgia's standard, I wouldn't say, for the past couple seasons, but an interesting schedule to end the year for Georgia. They have 5 games left. They have Florida, at Mississippi State, Texas, Charlotte, and Georgia Tech. That Georgia Tech game is going to be interesting. Yeah. That Texas game is going to be interesting, and quite frankly, this Florida game is going to be interesting coming up. But, Georgia controls their own destiny. They're a great team. I have them at 4. You have them at 3. Mm-hmm. Elaborate on your Vanderbilt at 4.
Oh, Vanderbilt on 4. Again, Diego Pavia, I am sold on. That guy is amazing. That guy is fun to watch, fun to root for.
Yeah.
Great time with him. But could I put them over Georgia? See, now that's where it gets me. They both have losses to Alabama. And I would interchange them amongst the spot, but Georgia just has that slight edge for me. They're not the defensive powerhouse they used to be in years past, but I think they're still there. I think they still have their culture with them. I think they're still Georgia.
Fair. Very fair. And these two are pretty close teams, in my opinion. Like, you could go either way with them. But I do believe that Vanderbilt gets the win against Georgia.
What an insane sequence, man!
What an insane time that we live in.
Yeah, Vanderbilt and Georgia are in the same league in my head.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's
absurd.
That's wonderful.
Just a fantastic state of college football.
Let's just go through number 1 and number 2. Come on, guys. Come on, spit it out. Who's number one?
Yeah, guys, I had to change it this week. Texas A&M. They're the most impressive team in the SEC. They're the best team in the SEC right now. And if you disagree with that right now, I'm sorry, you're just wrong. Like, I feel like this at this point, it's not opinion, it's fact. A&M right now is playing like the best team in the conference.
Yes, the only undefeated team in the SEC.
And that's hard to spit out, but it's hard to argue with. Now, they're the best team right now. Could they continue to be the best team is another question.
You know,
But it is a favorable schedule coming up.
I think what Elko brought to Texas A&M is consistency. You know, with all the talent we have recruiting, we show just absolute flashbangs of great talent, great displays, but they're just flashbangs. It's a massive pop, and then it fizzles out. Now with Elko, with what he brings, is consistency amongst the team and the consistent adherence to being your best on all three phases of football, all four quarters, and just dominating your opponents. Even if things don't go your way, you take the stoic manner, just move on to the next play. Like the last play didn't happen, you just do your job and you finish. That is what Texas A&M is doing, and I am so impressed by them. I adore it. It's it's a beautiful thing, and I'm so proud of the Aggies and what they're able to accomplish so far in the season. For that, I have them at number 1 in the SEC, with Alabama number 2.
Let me just say this. Texas A&M is the best team in the SEC right now. If you disagree with that, you're wrong. Let me also say this. I think Alabama will go farther than A&M in the playoffs. I think they will end up being a better team than A&M when it's all said and done. But right now, if you say that Texas A&M isn't the best team, I think you're wrong. It's a fine line between Alabama and A&M. If you put them on a neutral site right now, I think it would be a fantastic game, and I would have a hard time for sure picking the winner. But to argue that Alabama is better than A&M right now is pretty ludicrous after that showing against South Carolina. Alabama came up with the win. You can't hate on them too much, but that A&M win this weekend was impressive.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm just going to say it. I think Alabama will end up being better. But right now, A&M's the best. It's hard to disprove that. They have a chance to win a title. Crazy to say.
So with A&M being number 1 in the SEC right now, I think they're going to the SEC championship game.
I think it's a...
and who is the team?
It's a close to sure thing
against them.
Make it, yes. And I think Alabama has the best chance to... Right now, the most likely scenario for the SEC championship is Alabama versus Texas A&M. But a lot of things could change. It's any given Saturday. We've said that multiple times.
Oh, man, if LSU topples them,
that would
what a
be
treat.
Just
What a
chaos ensuing. But yeah, it's like right now it should be Alabama A&M in the title game, and that will be a fantastic game. It'll be on a neutral site in Atlanta. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Dude, I'm
They
telling
both
you,
have 3 or 4 games left.
Alabama can pull a 2024 OSU and lose to Auburn, not make it to the championship game, so therefore they don't have a bye, but they make it into the playoffs, and then just win it out, man.
And honestly,
Alabama could be that team.
Maybe that's the path to go. Maybe that's you have to face that kind of adversity to win it all. I'm just.
I don't want them to manufacture it, of course. It's just, we only have one sample point. That's our one template.
Yeah, for the 12-team playoff. And honestly, Alabama's kind of, right, so far has just followed that to a T. And they can continue to follow that to a T. Let's see if they will. But yeah, that's pretty much our power rankings here.
Yes. That was fun.
Just going through it, let's run through it one more time. Here's mine: 16 Kentucky, 15 South Carolina, 14 LSU, Arkansas, OU, Mississippi State at 11, Auburn at 10, Texas, Florida, Tennessee at 7, Missouri, Ole Miss, Georgia at 4, Vanderbilt at 3, Alabama at 2, and A&M at 1.
Lovely list. I'll go through mine. Kentucky at 16. 15, I have Arkansas. 14, I have Mississippi State. 13, I have South Carolina. 12, I have Auburn. 11, Florida. 10, LSU. 9, OU. 8 Texas, 7 Missouri, 6 Tennessee, 5 Ole Miss, 4 Vanderbilt, 3 Georgia. Those are close. Number 2, Alabama, and number 1, number uno, Texas A&M.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and make sure to pay attention this week. We'll have plenty more videos to come, and get ready for another jam-packed week here in Week 10 of the college football season. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Follow us. Do all the things. Randomsec out.